Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode, 20 of our Astropolis Let's Play series, where today we are getting our gas burning generator set up and running. A little bit longer of an episode because there's a lot that we got to do, and I wanted to get it done before we wrap up. So yeah, strap on in for the ride. It's a fun one. Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful day here in the world of TheAndrata. Where today we are going to, my goal, I need to get this ethylene gas burning generator set up. So as you can see, our to-do list, we have a lot of things to get through today that I'd like to try and get some better power going on. It will make things so much easier for us going forward. Before we begin, though, let's talk about these changes that I made here. So last episode we left off, and I only had one molecular assembler with one pattern provider, and things were going a little bit, slow, right? They weren't working too well for us, mainly because I only had one CPU. I went and looked up how in the world do these things work, and figured out, okay, so we talked about it a little bit last episode. So these are a multi-block structure, right? So you have your crafting storage, you have a coprocessor, and this is the crafting monitor here, so we can see what is currently being crafted on our using that CPU. And each one of these multi-block structures is its own individual CPU. The higher the crafting storage, so like for example, this is a 16K, these are 4K, the more buffer, I guess you could say, that it has. It kind of sort of acts like RAM, I guess, for your network to do crafting. So for example, if I were to go up top and I were to say, hey, I taught the system how to make steel. So if I say, hey, I want 1,000 steel, you can see up at the top, it's going to say that it's going to use 7,032 bytes for this recipe, for this craft. So if I were to start this, I would need a CPU that is capable of holding 7,032 bytes of information, which would not be this guy, right? He can only hold 4K. This guy, though, he can do 16K. So that would be perfect for our 16K CPU versus our 4Ks. So basically, that's, from what I understand, how it works. And as far as I understand, you can hook more than one coprocessor up to this and kind of sort of, I believe, like most people generally tend to do like a 3x3 with like 4 of these crafting storages, then the rest with CPUs. The CPUs allow it to split the craft across multiple of them, as far as I understand, if I'm correct, or across multiple crafting storages. So if you have more than one in there, you can hook these up, or maybe, and see, this is where it still gets confusing. Maybe it was one of these and 6 of these attached to it so that each face has one. I don't know, something like that. I'm still not 100% on how that works, but either way, we can have 4 simultaneous crafts going on basically now with this setup here, and then we can expand as needed. But each one is its own separate multi-block, so they do need to be separated from each other. From what I've seen online, it's recommended to have just a few of the 1Ks, because when you do auto crafting through here, the auto crafting is going to use the CPU that has the lowest amount of bytes or buffer storage that it can use to get the job done. And so if you have a bunch of 1Ks, simple crafts that are going to be like quick and stuff, they'll use those 1Ks, and that frees up your 16Ks or your 64K storage CPUs for the bigger jobs that you're going to have done, right? Right. Okay. So that's basically how that is working for now, as far as I understand. Over here, what we have, I just expanded out our pattern provider because I ran out of room. So we have our pattern provider. We have a molecular assembler set up, I believe, in the middle there. And then we have pattern providers off of that. And then I have molecular assemblers attached to each side of that. So this is using up some of our channels, specifically 8 total channels here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern providers, and then there's that one molecular assembler in the middle. It's working for now. I know this is like the general concept behind like the assembler tree or assembler chandelier, which we are going to make. in the future once we get power taken care of, and I can kind of sort of route this and put this somewhere else and probably have just a whole room, maybe like one of these hanging, or two of these potentially hanging from the ceiling, and then the rest of the room filled with CPUs, so that way we have our whole storage room. I don't know. I really don't know how I want that to look. I need to look up some builds for that and everything. But for now, this is working well for us. We have the ability to have 4 crafts going at a time. And with that, I've been able to go ahead and teach the system how to make certain things. So I taught the system first things, how to make the CPU stuff, so we can make a 16 crafting storage, we can make the coprocessors. I taught it how to make pattern providers and molecular assemblers, so that we have that. Still don't have the quartz glass and those things automated. It still does require me to manually make things in the arc furnace, but we will eventually get that going too. Taught the system the basics, cables and stuff in case I need those going forward, and those were needed for some of these other crafts along the way. The system knows how to make the control circuits, as we know from last episode. I also kicked off some of those. So we have, no, not circuits, but if we look at, let's look at mechanism. I kicked off 32, 32, and 64 of the infused alloys. So we have those available. So then when we want to make the circuits, we can as needed. We also have stuff that I need for this recipe process that we're going to be going through now here in a minute. So yeah, basically we're doing pretty good. I'm my favorite part of modded Minecraft is getting to the automation. So I have less work to do, and it's more logistical and getting things set up versus me having to do all this extra here, back and forth and all that. So anyway, that being said, let's get started. So today my major goal is to make myself the ethylene gas burning generator and get that bad boy started. I do believe though I wanted to teach the system how to make these energy cells because I don't want to craft those. So we'll come back to that. And then with these, I believe we're going to need an access point. Don't know how that works, so we'll come back to that. Anyway, so I want to make myself a ethylene gas burning generator, which is this bad boy right here. So the ethylene gas, or the gas burning generator, and we're going to burn ethylene in it. So in order to make this, we need all this stuff, which we can just go ahead and request, except for I need netherite dust. I never taught the system how to make that dust. So let's go ahead and netherite dust. We are going to get ourselves a crusher set up here very soon, so we can get the gold dust set up too. But we're going to go ahead and just throw this into here. And now I can say, hey, I need this guy. And we're going to just control click, and it will craft the things that we need in the interim, except for the fact that we are missing our dusts. Okay, so let's take care of the dust part then. All right, so chain of building that we're going to have here. So gas burning generator requires this, and we're going to make ethylene, or we're going to burn ethylene in the gas burning generator. Ethylene is a gas, obviously, that is made inside of a pressurized reaction chamber, a PRC. The PRC is going to take water and hydrogen along with 2 biofuel to craft a substrate and ethylene, 100 millibuckets of it. So in order to do this, we're going to need biofuel. Biofuel is going to come from crushing some sort of bioorganic material. In our case, we are going to use melon slices, because melon slices, each melon slice gets you 4. And melon slices are a fantastic way to do this, because if you have a melons recipe for melon slices, it comes from melons. You get 9 slices from every single melon, and we can automate this. We don't need to set this up in a metal press or a sawmill or anything. We can have this simply automated using a compacting drawer. Put the melon in, you get melon slices out. Bada bing, bada boom, we're good to go. Real quick though, I do want to check, because I was recipe. Get out of there. Give me recipe of this. You don't make extra seeds, right? Yeah, you just make the melon. That's what I wanted. Okay. So that's the biofuel. So we're going to use melons to make the biofuel. In order to get that biofuel, we're going to have to crush these melons inside of a crusher. So we have a crusher. The other part of this ethylene in our PRC is going to be hydrogen. We need water and hydrogen. Hydrogen is going to be made inside of an electrolytic separator. So we are going to, through the process of electrolysis, separate water into hydrogen and oxygen. We don't need the oxygen, so we're going to let that just melt away, flow into the air. That'd be cool if we could put it in our base space or something, so we didn't need to wear a suit, but whatever. And we're going to make an electrolytic separator to do that, get water. And then we're going to have a water source hooked up to that. So we'll have the water source, and then I'm going to upgrade the water source to netherite, because why not? We can. So that's our chain of craft, chain of setup that we're going to have going on here. We should be able to make this fairly compact. Ultimately, I think we should be okay with this. So anyway, in order to get this started, we are going to need to get ourselves a crusher, because we need a crusher for recipes to be able to, crush things. We also need a crusher for this whole setup. So we ultimately are going to need 2 of these. So I'm going to kick off the craft for 2 of those, and then we should, these basic control circuits should come through fairly soon. It does have to cook them up, right? I wish this told me which machine these are getting put into. That's one thing I like with Refined. It tells me, hey, this is going into XY machine, and that it's not working because XY. I did go and get lava buckets, but I forgot that I need to make 2 of these, so I'm not going to have enough lava buckets. So we are going to have to pop down into Venus, because I still have my 1 lava bucket that I had here, but I need another one in order to actually do some of these crafts. So let's go ahead, pop over to Venus and get ourselves some lava. Really, I should automate this production of lava, but that's okay. All right, so if we come out here, we can go down into this ravine and then find the hole. This is not the way I went. Where's my hole? I had a hole that I dug down. Where's my hole? Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. This was a couple days ago that I did this, so I cannot remember where my hole is. Oh, by the way, my boots. My boots are fused to my body, apparently. There we go. Level is max. So once you use them enough and you level it up, they fuse. There's my hole. They fuse to your body, and then you can, you don't have to worry about death. When you die, your boots will automatically come with you. So it's great. And I don't think I'm going to be able to pick up any more buckets from here. I've grabbed everything. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Hey. I don't know why what is that? It said, there was some red text there all of a sudden. There we go. Okay. And then let's just go home. Anyway. All right. So we're home. We can go ahead and throw these in there, and I can make another crusher. Good. And while I'm here, let's just go ahead and kick off some of those, because that took too long. So let's go ahead and kick off 16 of these. And 16 of these, and 16 of these, and 16 of these. By the way, real quick, let's pop over to our processing setup over here. So TheAndrata was a dingus. When he set up the refined obsidian, he forgot to tell this to only insert 1 into here. So the refined obsidian had 64 enriched obsidian chilling out in here, plus then we had some over here for the diamond. So I'm not gonna have to make enriched obsidian for a long time. It's all just chilling up there, up home in our system there. So what I really need to do is work on getting speed upgrades for Mekanism, speed and energy upgrades, which are not relatively expensive. I just need to get these crushers set up so I can get these dusts going, because it is quite slow to make this at the moment. Okay. And I could tick accelerate it, and that would be fine, but we're okay for now. I'll let those cook. It's just it's extra processing for what we need. Okay, so we have one of our crushers that we're going to need. This is going to be our processing crusher. This is the one that we're going to use for all of our stuff. So I would like to get myself a pattern provider if I have a crafting CPU available, but I do not, so I can't do anything because I kicked off too many crafts. Let's just go ahead. We can cancel out that one. Don't worry about that, except for the fact that that's going to use that. And you started those ones. I don't like this. I don't like waiting. This is too much waiting. Not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, so I need a pattern provider. Do I happen to have one of those in here? I do. And I guess I'll take one of these. I crafted these for something. This is part of our process for today. This is like all my stuff, but I had a pattern provider. I don't remember why. Maybe it was for this, and I'm just going crazy. We'll go ahead and set this guy up over here, and then we can route the power from underneath. And hopefully this should be enough power for this. Nope, we won't route the power that way because our cable runs that way. So we'll put this on the other side. Also would love to get the magnet upgrade for our backpack. These guys should really be on the other side then. This is probably going to break my pickaxe. Nope, but this will. Nope. Hey, we're getting lucky. Energy pipe and boop. 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 Okay. Crusher. Chill here. Yeah. And then pattern provider can chill on the backside. We're going to need an importer, which I'm not going to be able to auto craft, am I? Import bus. And I'm going to have to make that. Bam. Did go ahead and get more Fluix dust too in between episodes because, you know, we were short on that. So import bus can go ahead and chill. I really should set this up as an interface and then everything can just go in there. And then I don't need the import bus. It can just output directly into the interface and then I can have everything route over there with cables. But again, project for another day because we're working on this right now. Bam, bam. Also, is it wise to use smart cable for this? Like, do I need to be using smart cable? Could I do this a better way? I mean, this is nice because it does show me how many channels are being used. But like, I guess I could have my, okay, this is where it comes in. This could be smart cables and then this could be Fluix cables. So it's not as expensive because I really don't need to know, oh, there's one connected here and then 3 over here. I just need to know how many total are being used. So that might be a better idea to start switching over to using Fluix cables instead of that, maybe. Anyway, we need to get dust. So let's go ahead and get osmium dust going. So that is going to be you. You are going to be a crusher recipe, 1-to-1. And then we want gold dust for sure. No. Block of raw gold? Nah. Okay, good. So those are those 2 recipes. They're going to go into the crusher, and we need to set up our inputs on the crusher. So we're going to say, Mr. Crusher, on the back, you are going to input. You're the back. You're going to input on the back, and you're going to output to the top. And then everything should be able to go through that import bus into the crusher. So if I come in here and I say, you're still crafting up your stuff, but I should have some freedom. Yes. Okay. So if I get some osmium dust now, and I say I want 32 osmium dust, it should be able to craft that. We are going to come over here and say, hey, buddy, speed up a little bit. Speed up a little more. Nope. Can I tick, because that's now going to cap out. Can I tick accelerate these guys to get more power out of them? So that can do that? Yeah, that works perfectly. There we go. Oh, yeah, I like that. Tick accelerate that, and now we're cooking. So that's that. Let's go ahead and get, what other kind of dust? It was the electrolytic cores that we needed, which is gold dust and iron dust. So we're also going to need to get iron dust. Let's kick off gold dust while that's still tick accelerated, right? And then I can teach iron dust. Over here. Running out of patterns, but that's okay. We will survive. Okay, so we got plenty of time, so let's just max that out and get that up to a 64. And we're good on power? Yeah, we're chilling. The import bus can't keep up. That's the issue that we're having here. Okay, but that'll get us our dusts. That's doing its thing. Crafting-wise, we only have that craft going, so that means that we have all of the other stuff available to us, which is great. Now we can start crafting these things. So our first step in the chain that we're going to want. Let's work our way forward. So let's go ahead and get our water source. I did teach the system how to make these water cores, but I made a couple of them so that we didn't have to wait for them. So we have our water source here. I am going to want to go ahead and upgrade that to the max, so that way we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to need to get myself a netherite ingot. Give me that quickly. And by quickly, I mean it has to go through there, which is not the fastest, which is why I have an energized smelter here on my to-do list so that we can get that. And then we'll put the smithing table back over here. That's U to U. Now we have a netherite upgrade. So now we have a water source. Okay. Everything is going to sit over here. As you can see, I have power set up. This is tapped into the power with our arc furnace. So there are 3 power flower setups, though only single level, giving us power. So it's not as much as like these ones that are hooked up under those, but it's hopefully enough for this whole process. So we have a water source, and that's going to be the first part that we're going to need is to get water into all of this. So we're going to kind of sort of set this up over here, and then I will, do I have to tier this up through the tiers? Are you kidding? I was hoping I didn't have to do that. Okay, so I need another diamond upgrade, and then for the diamond, and because they don't use each other, I can't. Let's do at water. Okay, so we need iron, we need gold, then diamond, then. Okay, so iron, gold, nope, gold, diamond, netherite. There we go. There we go. Good. And that has a buffer of 32 buckets now. Cool. You go back there, you can chill there, and we're good. Okay, so water, right? Water source block set up. So we have water, and we need to get that water put into a electrolytic separator. So we can go ahead and craft that. And apparently I burnt through all those infused alloys that I had. See, that's why I told you we need hundreds of infused alloys because it takes a lot of infused alloy to do this. Crusher is crushing up iron currently. Okay. After that's done, I'm going to go ahead and kick off and say I want iron dust. Give me 64 of those so we don't have to wait on that. Also, the alloys, we will go ahead and craft 64 more of those. And we will go speed this up. I can't easily access the things down there, so I can't go too crazy. I mean, I guess I could just pop back down there, but also recognizing that the power is coming out of this battery versus actually those things. So we might even be able to be okay with it, but we'll do that. Okay, so that's taking care of those. And now we should have the electrolytic cores, yes? There we go. Okay, so now we can make ourselves an electrolytic separator once we wait for one more infused alloy. Again, that's why I kicked off so many of them. Also, we're going to go ahead and mute the crusher because I do not want to be hearing that. Thank you. Okay. Electrolytic separator. Good. All right. First piece of our puzzle here is the electrolytic separator. And the electrolytic separator is going to need to get power from the water source block or water from here. We're also going to need to get power. So I'm going to go ahead and actually break our water source block. We'll see where this is going to end up sitting. And we'll see how compact we can ultimately make this thing. Instead of running it in a line, we'll see what we can end up doing. But the electrolytic separator is going to sit... it needs to get into the PRC, right? Yeah, to make the ethylene, this needs to go into the PRC. So really, this should be here is going to sit the electrolytic. The PRC, the gas burning generator, should theoretically be able to sit here, and then we can push and pull and route things as needed. So that's how we're going to set this up. So electrolytic separator going to sit here. We need to get energy pipes set up. Now, eventually this will be self-sufficient, right? It'll run its own energy, so we don't have to rely on these things anymore. But for now, it's going to have to pull off of this battery to get power into this bad boy. We should probably upgrade that for now, so that way we have enough power. So let's go with at pipes and get ourselves improved. Okay. And install you. Good. Okay, so now you have enough. And so the electrolytic separator, now we can attach the water source to this, and maybe this will be able to just pull the water. I don't think it can, and I don't think this auto outputs water at all. So we are going to have to hook up a cable, aren't we? We don't want any items in this, so we're going to clear that. Gases are not going to come. We're going to clear gases. Gases are going to go out, but we're not going to deal with gases at the moment. We're just going to let them build up in here. Fluids, we want input on the left, but it can't input, and this doesn't auto output, I don't believe, unless it can auto output from the bottom. That would be the only thing I potentially could see happening. Otherwise, we're going to have to hook up a cable, and that's fine if we do. We're just going to have to upgrade that cable so that it will be able to keep up. Yeah, no auto output on the water source. That's okay. So what we'll do is go ahead, break it, boop. We will place it back here, and then we can set up a fluid pipe to connect there. We will get an upgrade on this fluid pipe so that it can go into there, but now we have water coming in, hydrogen and oxygen. And really, the water is bottlenecking, or not going to be our bottleneck until we speed this up, so it's not too big of a deal. We are going to go ahead and turn off that sound because that is very screechy, high-pitched, and tinny. But the oxygen is what we don't need, right? So we're going to allow the oxygen to dump excess. So once this fills up, it's just going to do nothing with it. It'll just continue to process. Hydrogen, though, we want the hydrogen. That's the important part, so we'll let that sit here. And then Actually, hydrogen is going to backstuff first, but we should be pulling all of it out. So, yes. Okay, good. So, hydrogen and oxygen coming in. First part of this process is good. Let's go ahead and get ourselves our PRC next so we can get that going into somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and craft all of this stuff. Note that we have a lot that it has to do. So it's going to be a minute, and we should be good to go, though, fairly soon, because like I said, I've kicked off a lot of these crafts already, a lot of this micro crafting. What are you waiting on? Nothing. We're good. We have a PRC? Or we have the ability to make a PRC now. Yeah, look, there we go. PRC, pressurized reaction chamber acquired. None of these are picking up quests, apparently, either. Steel casing, because I never picked up the infused alloys. Let's go ahead and grab one of those, because I would like these quests to complete. And then all the circuits. Yeah, okay. And circuits. These ones. These ones. These ones. These ones. Nope. Next is, what is the dependency that's not completed? Why do I need diamond dust? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Yeah. Because I'm just using, I already made enriched diamond. I didn't even need diamond dust. We completely skipped that. But apparently I need to make it in order to do this. All right, well, we'll deal with the quest portion of this later. Okay, Electrolytic Separator. We're going to have our PRC sit here. We're going to set all inputs on this to off. Make sure that they are off. I hate that it comes with stuff by default because it can get you all clogged up and everything, but we don't have to worry about it right at the moment. Everything is going to be set to off, except for energy. Energy can come in through the back like it is right now. Okay, so the PRC is going to it needs two things, right? We needed water and we needed hydrogen. So we need to get water into this guy now. I'm just trying to think where would be the best way to route the water. Maybe instead we should route power below. Yeah, route the power below here. So we can put the power here. Okay, so now there's power coming in. Let's grab some of this. Do we have any of this? Nope. Okay, well, that's fine. And then we can have the water come through the back then. And we'll set this. Liquid fluids is going to input from the back, which will allow that to make its connection. And now we can set that to extract. And then we don't need this one. Okay. The power, though, we do want to get ourselves set up again with the improved upgrade. Good. Okay, so now this has its water, and this is full of hydrogen. However, we're going to fix that because we're going to say gases. Now, we need to make sure we look at our color. This is dark blue. This is cyan. We want the dark blue to push to the right, auto-eject out to the right. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to say outputs. That's the blue. That's cyan. We want blue, and we want that to auto eject to the right. However, nothing's going to happen because we turned off the allowing of input on this one. So we're going to say gases will input from the left. And now we have water and hydrogen inside of here. So the next part of this process is that we needed our crusher to get our substrate into here. In order to do that, we're going to go ahead, we're going to have a drawer set up, and that drawer is going to have our substrate sit in it. So we're going to go ahead and pop our drawer here. Now, we don't have any way to pull those items in, except for the fact that drawers have the fancy upgrade called the pusher upgrade. So we can grab one of those and we can say, hey, Mr. Drawer, whenever we get to it, nope, not that one. Shift right click on the edge, or right click on the edge. There we go. And then I can right click on the edge. You are going to push whatever comes into you down, which is what we want. Okay. So then I'm going to need to get the crusher set up here along with the garden cloche, both of them that we have. So we have our other crusher and the garden cloche. Now the crusher is going to get items from a compacting drawer. Okay. So the compacting drawer is going to want to sit where? This is going to go here. Compacting drawer, crusher. Power then becomes an issue again. So maybe power should be on the back and the water should be on the bottom. Let me think about this really quick. Give me a second. Okay, I think this setup should, for the most part, work. Let's find out for sure. Real quick, I kicked off the craft of the stuff that's needed for the gas burning generator. So, though I did do that and it didn't make all of it. So I think I clicked PRC by accident. I think I made all the stuff for another PRC. Yeah, well, hey, we have a second PRC. We'll use it eventually. It's fine. We need that one to get done. Okay, so that's going to do its thing. So here's what we have. Okay, so I have a garden cloche here that's got its melons, and it does not put out into this compacting drawer. Let's see why. Maybe I need to put this in there first, and then it can. Let's see what happens when this one is grown, and let's not wait for it. Okay. 2. Perfect. Okay, so that did its thing. Now, here's the question. Now that I'm thinking of how I have this set up, what's going to happen here? I need these to go into here. And in order to do so, I was going to use a pusher upgrade to push into there. However, what is that pusher upgrade going to actually push? Is it going to push the melon slices or the full melons? We'll find out, I guess. There's the gas burning generator, so we have that for us. And let's see what happens. I'm going to push this, and I want to push these to the east. Okay, so we need to come into here. If you just right click on this, it changes the direction. And it's pushing. Okay, so it is pushing in the slices, which is what I wanted to have happen. We're going to clear out the config. We're going to say you're going to input here. You are going to output to the right, and you can auto eject. So that's going to push those to the right. Now, that's going to get our biofuel. We're going to lock that drawer. So the biofuel is going to come through. So as it produces melons, it's going to go ahead, get the biofuel pushed in. And remember, each time that a melon is crafted or grown over here, it's going to create 9 slices, which doubles each one of those slices, makes 4 biofuel each. So it's a lot. We end up with a lot of biofuel, which is what we want. That biofuel is going to come over into this drawer, which is going to then end up going into our PRC. Now we need to set this. It's going to push to the down. That's fantastic. Now all we have to do is come over here, go to our items config, and allow it to input from the top. Bam, everything's coming in, biofuel is dropping, and we are going to end up with ethylene and substrate. That's exactly what we wanted. Now the substrate we need to get rid of. We don't want the substrate in our, to clog this, because that's going to block it once it gets to 64. So we can go ahead and grab ourselves another drawer, and we should just be able to craft that fairly simply. Yep, there's a drawer. And the substrate... Man, all of this is in a line, and then if I put the substrate anywhere else, it's going to bother me, because if it sits here, it's just not going to be in this nice little, shape that we have going on here for us, which is still not the most efficient in the world, but it works. I mean, honestly, I'm not too upset with how this is. So I guess we'll just go ahead and put the drawer right in the front. We don't really need access to this PRC as often, so that can sit in the front, and we're going to say items are going to output to the front, and you can auto eject, which will push that substrate into this drawer. We're going to go ahead and lock it. And then that is why I got myself these void upgrades, because once that substrate gets full, we don't want it to end up, clogging up our system because there's nowhere for it to go. So I have a void upgrade and a copper upgrade in there, so that way it can hold as much as it can. We'll also go ahead and get copper upgrade on our biofuel so that we have enough of that. And I will get one for our compacting drawer as well. Okay, so ethylene is being made. Let's go ahead and turn off the sound of our reaction chamber. Nice muted sound. And look, we're almost at 2 buckets of ethylene, which is great. Now all we got to do is set down our gas burning generator. Now I believe, the gas burning generator does not, it's one of the only machines without a config. So we got to remember, we have to place this specifically in order for it to actually get that gas in it. And I don't remember which way that is. That looks to me to be correct. However, it's not working. Does a gas burning generator need, right, ethylene usage to liquid ethylene, and liquid ethylene, the gas burning generator should just be able to use, oh, you know why? Because I don't have the gas set as an output. So we need to go to gases, and we want to set the right as the output auto eject, and that should kick on our gas burning generator, which is now producing 15,000 RF per tick. No, it's not producing any power at the moment. It can produce 15,000 FE per tick. And it's not going to do it because it has nowhere to put that power, so it's not doing any work for us right now. And the more gas that you have in there, the better overall for this. But there we go. We have a gas burning generator set up, getting us more power. So if I come over here and I say, hey, give me a energy cell, not energy cell, the battery energy cube. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a basic energy cube, and then we're going to upgrade that to an advanced energy cube. Then we need to get these energy tablets. 1, 2, bam. Can I upgrade that to an elite? Yes, I would have to craft those, but that should be doable. An elite energy cube, go ahead and kick those off. And then ultimate, might as well just jump straight to the highest tier. That's you. Those are crafting. They're doing their thing. It's got to go into the machines, so it's doing its thing. But while it does that, we'll go ahead and make some more of these. And I'd like to just get the ultimate energy cube out of the way, so that way we have it, right? And creative energy cube doesn't have a recipe, so can't, cheese just our way straight to a creative energy cube, because that'd be kind of cool, but not going to happen, Captain. So once this is done, that will allow us to get power in a much better power, right? And then we can even speed up all of these machines once I get these taught to the system, and that will be so much better for us ultimately overall. Okay, so that should be the elite energy cube, and now an ultimate energy cube. This can store 102 million RF, and the important thing is it can input and output power much faster. So if I put this here on the green spot, that's the energy. We're going to say you go there, and it should start filling up. And now it is producing, max output is 42,000 RF per tick, and it is producing 21,000-ish, roughly. And it's inputting at 21,000 RF per tick right now, which is great. Look at that. We just jumped from 500 or 448 RF per tick from all of those power towers to 21,000 RF per tick at the drop of a hat, and it's free. It's literally free real estate. We have nothing that it costs other than this ethylene. Now, we are going to burn through this ethylene because these machines aren't sped up, so it's going to have a hard time keeping up with this. Mainly this PRC is what we would want to speed up, so that way we can get this going. But look at that. Bam. Already 18 million RF. It is doing its thing, and we are chilling. Like, bam, look, we already have a backstuffing of melons inside of here, and you are doing your thing, getting the oxygen, and yeah, I like it. we're doing good. And we have 16 million RF inside of here. So that means our next goal, so in between episodes, I'm going to work on, I'm going to teach the system now how to make these things, because we already have, you know, the osmium dust and all that stuff. So I'm going to work on getting our upgrades into the system so we can do that. So we can go ahead and pop those into here. And each machine from Mekanism takes 8 upgrades. So if we go to Mekanism and we ask for them, we can ask for 64 of these. Go ahead and craft that. And 64 of these. I know that I don't need 64 right now. We need more glass. Well, let's teach the system how to make glass. I have all these different types of glass, but I just need glass. You are going to get made in a smelter with sand, which is going to be this over here. Now, this is not the fastest thing in the world. We are going to get an energized smelter going soon, but for now, that's going to work for us. Energy upgrades. I don't know what that is. Something I'm hitting is popping that GUI up, and I don't like it. So that's energy upgrades going for us, so that's great. Speed upgrades are cooking, though now they ran out of the stuff, so it's crafting up. Again, a ton of infused alloys. I told you we have a lot of infused alloys, but I can go ahead and put these into the other machines down there too, which will hopefully speed that whole process up. We can also go ahead and get ourselves factories, not Mekanism factory. We can get the tier installers, right, is what they're called. Tier. So we can probably get ourselves up to advanced tier, though we do use a lot more power when we get to these for some of these machines. So like this is the basic tier installer. All I have to do is come over here and shift right click on a machine and it will upgrade it to a factory. However, really this is keeping up. Ultimately, like we have biofuel backstuffed, though we will eventually, once I upgrade all of these, that will probably become an issue. So let's go ahead. Yeah, we can go ahead and upgrade that now. What that does is it allows us to have 3 processes going at any one time. What we want to do is turn on auto sort so that it can do that. Keeping in mind, though, now each one was using 20 RF. Now it's using 60 RF for this whole process. So it's going to be tripling the power that we're going to be using. However, we're doing good. We're inputting 300 and outputting input 300. And doesn't say what our output is. Our max output is 1.6, but it's not going down, so we're good to go. This guy's getting almost full. Once he's full, this will back stuff, and we're good. Just trying to think, anything else I need to do before I wrap up the episode here today? I'd like to get another tier installer for that crusher, because that's our processing crusher. I guess the only other thing, before we wrap up, I'm going to go ahead and get ourselves the energized smelter, and then I can replace that other factory. So let's do that. I can replace this furnace with the energized smelter, which will make things much faster, also a little bit more compact over here. So once that's done, I will come back. All right, energized smelter acquired. So we can go ahead and actually just tear this whole thing down here. We don't need any of this. We'll go ahead and get rid of this. I'm just going to disconnect that. That's fine for the moment. And we can go ahead and let's see. We can set the energized smelter up here. The cabling, well, the cabling is going to have to stay how it is, I guess. So we can kind of sort of route it over this way. Make it a little bit neater. And you there, and you can go there. And then we can kind of fill in these gaps. Bam. Bam. Okay. So that takes care of that. However, this is going to get broken. And then this is going to get broken. Give me all of those things, please. Pattern provider. This is the electric furnace is what this is called. No longer. This is now going to be energized smelter. Really, I just need to clear the name. How can I do that? Like if I do this, does that reset it? Yeah, there we go. Waste of a level, but whatever. So energized smelter, go there. The import bus can go here, and then we can get cable. Bam, bam, bam. Then this guy can move over to the right. Kind of just make it all a little bit nicer overall. The factory must grow. Isn't that from Factorio? Never played that game, but I've heard it's great. And it's very, it probably would be very in line with how I like to play games. Like with these, automations and all of that stuff. Just not ready for a new game yet. Crushing factory can chill here. That gets its power back. Pattern. Import. And really, I'd like to put the patterns on top so they're easily accessible. So import on the back. pattern on top. That way I can access it from the front. I don't have to come back here to get to those. So import here, pattern on top, cable, 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 cable. Not the cable I wanted. Bam, 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 and bam. Okay, so everything is cabled, and yeah, okay. So now all I have to do is get the patterns back in here for the crushing factory, and then the patterns back in here for the smelting factory. This guy is no longer needed. Input here is going to be on the top. Output is going to be on the back. Input top, output back. Good. And input top. Swap this. Input top, output back. Auto sort. And you're not upgraded yet. Okay. Oh, finally. I think we're going to be done. Tier. Give me the basic tier installer. Yeah, really, I should just have a bunch of these, but we're kind of sort of running out of room and time. Okay, so basic tier installer, auto sort. Now these graphs should be able to be good to go. And this is automated. Import, import. I like it. Okay, much better overall. And I'm going to assume that we have now backstuffed on power here. Yep, this is backstuffing. So now everything is backstuffing. Great. I like it. All right, this has been a long episode. We're like, what? 10 minutes over where we should be, but that's okay. Every once in a while, it's nice. Hey, wave. I meant to hit that button and then wave. But that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Now that I have this ethylene gas burning generator and we have the power, I can go ahead and I'm probably honestly going to tear it down and move it to somewhere more centralized. Our next major goal that we want to get to is getting ourselves these quantum entangloporters, because these will allow us to move that power wirelessly. And yes, I know that I am like so close to accessing wireless power here from Flux, and that's going to make it so much easier as well. Quantum entangloporters will come in handy. We will replace the energy ones with Flux networks, because these allow infinite power movements essentially up to max int, whereas quantum entangloporters do have a cap, so we kind of have to sort of be wary or careful with those. I'd also like to look into I don't know how it's going to work. Like in AE2, isn't there like a dimension thingy or like a quantum access thingy? Yeah, like I want wireless AE2. Does that make sense? I need to figure out I'd like to put all this in a compact machine is what I'm saying. Generally how I do with refined storage, everything goes inside of the compact machine, and then I have like a terminal out here that's hooked up, and in refined I use the wireless network receiver and transmitter and everything. I got to figure out how that works with AE2 because that will make things much more clean. But anyway, I'm probably going to tear that down. I'm going to build a tower up above here for power, so power will be just centralized right above. I can run cables down and do the things that we need to do and go from there. But yeah, anyway, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it. It really does help out the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.